Welcome to What Ha Happened, the podcast where we talk about our latest chismes,
or gossip with you non-Spanish speaking folks.
crazy travel stories, hood memoirs, and food and wine.
This is an adult podcast.
So some of our topics may make our listeners a wee bit uncomfortable.
Listener discretion is advised.
And if you're of legal drinking age,
Grab a glass of wine.
or a beverage of your choice, and enjoy the show.
Yeah. And how are you? How was your weekend, man? Is it finally you get sick?
Well, today, right now, actually, I was like sneezing and my nose was running. And
Shit.
so, like, literally, I just made some tea. I ate, like, I roasted some cloves of garlic. And, yeah, because I've been just sneezing. Like, this just happened, like, within the last 3 hours. And I was just like, blah, blah, blah. Yesterday, I felt like my throat was sore and I might have like a cough. So I took some cough syrup, went to sleep, slept like 12 hours. And I woke up and I was kind of still tired, but I was like, I slept 12 hours. I should be okay. But
Sometimes when you sleep more than what you need to sleep, you get more. You'd want to sleep more. I saw, if I sleep more than 10 hours, I want to keep sleep. Like, I just want to keep going. Like, if I wake up like after 12 hours, I'm still tired. I'm like, let's go. I can sleep some more, unless I force myself to wake up. But you know, those are some days, not all the days. And yeah, folks. This is Richmo,
oh yeah, this is Lala.
and this is what happened. And what's happening right now is, well, Lala's back from her big weekend. It was like a whole setup. She was training or dancing. I call it training, but it's like doing choreo and practicing and all for the lead up for her big weekend. And then the weekend of Saturday and Sunday, just driving around and doing your show. And how'd that go?
Um, it was good. I have to say, it was a long drive. Like we had to drive all the way to Sacramento, like early in the morning, and then get there, um, and do like rehearsal with the band. So the band comes on, and you rehearse with them, and you only have one rehearsal before, like the main performance happens. So that went well, I think. And yeah, I mean, it was, it was, it wasn't, well, actually, like earlier on when I had seen, because we had like a little television in our dressing rooms, and I was just like, wow, it's not as full as it gets like here in LA, and so, but, you know, like always, when we came on, um, it exploded, the stadium exploded. And so it's just like, it's always very nice to see that people appreciate to see a folklorico group come on, and do, their thing. Um, yeah, so it was great. And then like we took pictures with them afterwards, and so it was cool. And then Saturday, like one of my dance mates drove. And then, so on the way from Sacramento to Santa Barbara, I drove. And I mean, I was totally fine with it, but like, it's like 4 hours of driving,
Yeah.
had barely 4 hours of sleep because by the time you get home, after you do a performance and like you get all your stuff together, and you get back to the hotel, and then you take a shower and you eat, you go to sleep. I didn't go to bed until 4. You had to wake up by like 8, be on the road by 9:30. So you know what I mean? And then I was the one driving, so then I drove for like 4 hours straight. I got there, and then actually this venue is like super small. It's kind of, you know what it reminded me of? Of the theater in Silver Lake on Sunset and Hillhurst, you know,
What's
and
that?
Santa Monica.
Mm.
They just shut it down.
Yeah, that's a
Um,
really like that's a small venue, but it was almost like a
yes,
theater, right? With
yes.
the
So it
stage.
it
Yeah, I
looked
think I've
like
been there.
that.
Yeah.
It
Wow.
was, yeah, so it kind of reminded me of that, but it had like a little bit more like, I don't know, it just looked super theatrical. I loved it. I loved the theater. Sorry guys, I'm like literally constantly
Sniffling.
want to sneeze. Yeah. I'm
Oh,
like,
you're allowed to. We I guess we'll have to cut that out. You're allowed to
it's just
sneeze.
my nose itches and then my nose is runny, so I'm just kind of like what. But anyway, so I really loved the theater. It reminded me of that one. Oh,
Mm.
sorry, in Silver Lake. And so it was cute. And so
I have a question. When you guys do like your practice, when you do the rehearsal before the actual show, are you rehearsing in not in your actual clothes that you're going to come out with, but you're like, like sweats or yeah, like your training clothes? You don't actually put the full costume on before you go, right? Or
when we're rehearsing,
yeah.
no, we have our skirt on, but not like our trenzas
Yeah,
and
I
like
got it, got it. Okay.
skirts. We have to have a skirt because we have to know what
Yeah, the
when we have
movements,
to,
yeah.
yeah. So like
Okay. And there isn't
obviously,
no training skirt. That's just you just the skirt for the show. I mean,
well, yeah, because like skirts take up a lot of space. So
gotcha.
you're only
Yeah,
taking
they're
performing skirt.
yeah, when I see them, it's like they take up the whole stage when everybody's like, twirling and it's just like these it's like, wow, it's amazing to watch. It's a scene.
Yeah, and
Okay.
so so this smaller venue, it's literally an old building. You know, it's a Santa Barbara. Remember when we went to Santa Barbara? Like near one of the bars that we were at the very end? Like the theater is right there. And
Yes,
so it's
yes.
like one of the old school, like, you know, we
It's
had
cool though.
no we had
But
no
stays.
we had no air conditioning. That's not cool. So before you speak, let me finish. There's no air conditioning. So as we're getting ready, I have like my hand fan going because I'm trying to put on makeup without it melting off before performances. And then in the venue, it's like, bro, I was literally just fucking, everybody was just dripping sweat. Like it was,
It did any I mean, I'm sure you guys all noted by like because you had spoken about this once another time about making sure you have the best makeup because if you don't have the best makeup, it runs down your face. So that didn't happen, right? Everybody's cool. Yeah.
well, it didn't happen for me. I
Well,
only
that's what I'm asking. Did it
because
happen to anybody? Like,
like I
like,
said, I don't know about anybody else, but for me, it did it because I am dancing. So I'm only focused on me. I
uh,
can't see the rest of everybody. I'm not paying attention to anybody else. I mean, I am in terms of like maintaining a line
cadence.
and
Yeah.
formation, you know, but like, yo,
Mm,
bro, I got other things to worry about besides if somebody's makeup is melting, you know what I mean?
mhm. Wow. I mean, because my imagination's like, wow, in a place with no AC and it's not open air, maybe you have like, if you can imagine folks a lineup of like 10 people and then the person in the middle, the makeup's
12
running, or 12, and then the makeup's running and
plus
just one person.
like
Ah,
six singers, the band members, and like 12 mariachis on stage.
so yeah, was it where you guys, uh-oh, we got to reconfigure because it's too big or too small?
No, actually, the stage size was probably a bit smaller, just like by a tiny bit, not by much, but you know, you still have to be very conscientious of your uh be
Movement.
like spatial awareness, you know,
Hmm.
which I normally am, but I accidentally kicked one of the singers.
Uh-oh. And like a donkey kick? Like you're like,
Well, because I
ah.
was facing this way and he was behind, he literally crossed behind me. But at that time, I did like a little kick, like an up kick, and he didn't know I was gonna do an up kick, and I kicked him in his shin.
What happened after that? Was there a chaos or did he like,
No, then we continued.
he's a
Why?
pro, he
We
could
we
just keep
can't.
swinging?
We can't stop, so whatever, one of the turns, like he looked at me and I was like, I just literally like lipped, I'm sorry, as
Oh,
he was
okay.
looking at me because he was like in front of me. So I just said, like, I'm sorry. And I don't even know if he knows English, but whatever. I said, I'm sorry.
Now he
Then,
knows to watch walking behind like a dancer when they're doing their thing.
well, then at the end, we take pictures with them when they come out. And so we did, like, in the back room. And it was just like four of us from the group that whoever didn't take pictures yesterday. So some of the girls went to another place in like San Francisco area. So we met up with them in Santa Barbara. And so they hadn't gotten a picture with them. But I went because I was going to take a picture of my samba outfit. I was like, well, I haven't taken a picture of my samba outfit with them. So I went, and then the guy was like literally standing next to me. We were like, posing for the photo. And then I said, I'm so sorry for, well, I said this all in Spanish, obviously. But I was like, I'm so sorry for kicking you. And then he was like, oh, it was you who kicked me. And then I said, yeah, like, I'm so sorry. And then he's like, no, actually, I tried to like time it because you were totally facing the opposite way. So there's no way you could have seen me. So I tried to time it, but it was my bad that. And then I said, I know, I just feel terrible. And then he's like, well, es una patada de buena suerte, like a
Ah,
kick of good luck.
yeah,
And
good
I
luck.
said,
Yeah.
well, pues ahí te dejo el recuerdo, el morete. So I'll leave you with my memory of my bruise.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing.
But I
Well,
feel
that was
so
fun.
bad because, okay, the number one thing when we're rehearsing is just like it is drilled in your head. Don't hit the singers. Do not hit the band. Do not hit, and so I, and then I was just like, so mortified. Anyway, aside from that,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
good.
Then I
So
drove
are you
all the way.
exhausted? Can you like,
Well, yeah, I've been sleeping for like 2 days, and like
so
I
it's like
said,
you're
last
training for this giant marathon of a tour for your weekend, and then now it's just your body's just okay, time to rest.
it's just shut down. Literally, it's just like, girl, we need to sleep. And so literally, I slept for like 24 hours as soon as I got back because I hadn't slept in like 2, 3 days. And
Well,
then
plus the
today
before
I
you went to
slept.
4 hours before you went to Santa Barbara is not that much, and then you got to practice and
Well,
like,
even before that, I
oh,
had only slept like 2, 3 hours. And so, because I was doing laundry and, finishing packing. And so it's just like I haven't slept for several days. And so if you guys know, been listening, I require at least 8 to 10 hours. I am the kind of person that I would prefer 12 hours of sleep. Like if I can sleep 12 hours every day, I'd be like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like
that's
I'm
living.
that kind of
Yeah.
person. So yesterday when I slept well this morning, last night, I was just like, wow, I actually slept 12 hours. And that's why I woke up feeling good because my body requires that many hours. Like, I'm not like you where you sleep like 5 hours maybe. You're like up and running at 6 in the morning. I'm like, the fuck?
I
Like,
mean, it's not all the time. It's not, I like to sleep too, but
no, you literally
sometimes
always wake up at 6 in the morning or 7. Like
I just
some
automatically,
ungodly hour. And it's just like, bruh. Like,
yeah.
don't talk to me until maybe 10 o'clock in the morning. Like, for real. I'm like, I don't function well. My brain is just, it won't process things. I can physically maybe function, but like, you can't actually have a conversation with me.
I actually I guess there was like some kind of high school reunion for me over the weekend, so I kind of went and did that for like an hour or two just to say hello, and that was
High
kind of
school reunion?
yes, yes, yes. I don't really go to these things, but it was close by, and they were like, "You should
How do you
go."
even
And
go to those? Like literally my school has never had them.
I'm
Like
sure, yeah, I'm
no,
sure you do.
no, my year has
No?
never had them ever.
Oh wow.
I
Well,
graduated in 98 and apparently in
well,
98 nobody
we can
gave a fuck.
we can put that
So
together. I bet you
no, I don't
there.
want to.
Yeah, 98. Let's see.
I don't even remember like half of the shit I did or the
Yeah,
people or the teachers or anybody.
yeah.
Like literally I just went to that school for my senior year
I see.
and you know that was it. Like there was nothing really special about it. There was like nobody that stands out. Like,
The
my
funny thing is
best
that,
friend died, so I was like, okay, well, there's not like I'm
oh,
gonna
there
meet
you
him
go.
again. So like, well,
Right. I mean, I said hello to a couple people, but I think we have like in the ninth grade, I went to a special program where there was we all went on a college campus. It was like a special program, so we would go to school on a college campus and go to school there, like separate from the rest of the high school. And since we had year-round tracks, it was all the tracks put together for a small group. So I'm kind of more connected to that group, that ninth grade group, more than I am with my senior year. Although I do know, I do remember some. It's kind of weird. I do remember some people there, but I didn't stay long. Just like okay, it was like from 7 to 12, and I think I left like at 9:30. Like I didn't want to. It's just like I didn't stay
I
long at
just
all.
literally I would not know anybody. It just like I just went for my senior year
Mm,
and hung out with a lot of people who weren't in my year. They were like 2 years before me. And then
yeah,
the few people that were in my year, like, it's just, it just,
you know,
there's,
I think
and there was such a disconnectivity, at least with the groups that I hung out with, because, this is Echo
yeah,
Park, LA, and, it's
yeah,
just, and in the
you know,
90s, it just, like one day I came to school and half the school was missing because they had did a raid inside the school and like arrested half of this population because half the population was selling drugs. So like,
oh wow,
it's just like it was that kind of school
that's
of,
crazy.
you're like, well,
Well, one of the most craziest things that I saw at the reunion was they had a photo of like junior high, like the main junior
wait,
high in
this
our
from
area.
high school?
Yeah. But the main junior high is where everybody went to junior high at the time, and then you go to the high school where I went to, which is Bell High. In the junior high picture, there seemed to be like the school picture was filled with so many kids. They were so tiny you couldn't even tell. There's so many kids. And then they had the senior year of Bell High School, and it was like a quarter of the size of that. Like you could tell whoever, it's just like, whoa, from that to that. I mean, I'm sure there was like other people that went other schools, but most of
I
the
went to
kids,
30 schools in my entire life. So like
wow,
I literally don't remember a single person, nor a motherfucker teacher, nor anybody. Like I keep in contact with nobody because
right.
literally I went to 30 fucking schools before I got to my senior year in high school. So like,
Mm.
yeah, bro, I have no idea.
There was one guy, his name is Larry, and we went to kindergarten together just for 1 year, and then I went to a different school. But then later, we were going to school together. So he's someone that I've known since I was like a little kid. So it was nice to kind of see him, because we just talked about when we were like kids. And then what's strange is that, and I get this all the time from everybody there. And if you know me, I'm of fair skin, have a light complexion, but everybody, even my ninth grade class of like those folks. I went to like a get together with them. They're all like, "Oh yeah, you're the white boy." I'm like, "What?" I go, "Yeah, you're the white boy." "Oh yeah, you're the white boy." I'm like, and that's what they call me, the white boy. I'm like, I'm not white, but I'm fair skinned. But every time they say that to me, it kind of hurts a little bit. I'm like, I guess okay, but I go, yeah, and they're like, I didn't realize you could speak Spanish every time. So I was talking to somebody, he's like, oh yeah, you're the white boy, and I'm like, what? And I'm like, dude, I probably speak Spanish more than you think. And then, and then I always get into this thing where like, okay, you want me to speak like that? I'll go ahead and give you the best Spanish I can, my best Españolo, and I fuck with everybody. Like if that's my thing, because it just blows my mind every time. But I'm used to that, But that was that, and then shortly thereafter, I was like, okay, it's time for me to go, and I left. So, but it's all right. It's fine. Maybe I should have stayed later, but I didn't. You would think, but yeah, that
I
was
would
that.
not, because we've never had one. So there's literally like none of us. Some of them went to jail. Like people were gang members. Like
Yeah,
ain't nobody is cohesive. Like this was
yeah.
just the
Some
most
people.
chaotic high school. Oh my God, you hang my photograph in the background.
Oh, can you guys see that? Let me just.
Yes. Oh my
It's kind of like out there.
God. I just saw that. Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
it's in. If you guys can see that, folks. That's actually Lala's one of Lala's photographs that she's taken.
Yeah, so I
That
do.
we'll
Oh
be
yeah,
doing
we
the whole show
mentioned
on.
in the last one, so I do
Yeah,
photography. And so that particular one, if you guys are only listening to us, it's a black and white of Chichen Itza. And so yeah, it's my yeah, I love that one. It's amazing.
yeah, it is pretty amazing. It's
Um,
actually this photo doesn't do it justice. Seeing here, you got to see it up close and personal. But you know, um, we'll do a whole show on this, and we're gonna do kind of like a
yeah,
show and tell. We're gonna
we're
do a
gonna be
show and tell.
we're
We're gonna have
working
like a.
on we are working on a project to do that, but it hasn't come to fruition yet because, well, I was driving and
She was
dancing.
driving with no sleep and dancing like
Yeah, and now I'm just
nobody's
like,
business.
so I just feel fatigued, like just extremely fatigued. And like right now, it's just like trying to like calm down. And like I was watching Jumanji, like the new one with The
What the
Rock.
rock? Yeah,
Yeah. And so I was just kind of like, oh, like just trying to like space out before we did this recording. But since we're already 30 minutes in and we haven't gotten to our topic yet, let's
wait,
take a
what are you
little
talking
break.
about? Let's take a little
Let's
break. But
take
this
a
is our
break.
topic. What are you talking about? We're recapping what happened.
Now, your topic, you wanted whatever your topic was that you called me about. But before we
Oh,
start, let's take a little
oh,
break.
wait. All right. Oh, hello. We're back.
Hey, we're back.
Refresh.
I
What
I,
kind of tea
I
did you
needed.
make? Did you get tea
Oh,
or what did you
I
make?
make a like a blend for when I'm sick. It just has a bunch of like spices.
Oh, which please.
Yeah, it's just got like cinnamon, cardamom. It's kind of like a chai. It's got cloves.
Oh
It's
yeah,
got
definitely.
lemongrass.
You have your own Lala blend?
I mean,
Lala
I
blend from
have
when you're.
I have a bunch of spice. I always make my own tea from scratch, like depending
Mhm.
on what I'm feeling. And then I'll add, whatever. Like depends.
You know, did you have a favorite tea from Murchie's from that Victoria place where you had those scones?
Yeah, I would always have lattes.
The lattes, so you'd have coffee.
Yeah, because I would always have a
Gotcha.
scone, so I would
Mm-hmm.
need a latte to like dip it.
Oh, nice, nice.
Mm.
So what is our topic? I mean, we were gonna I guess it's something that's been in the news. There are a lot of things that's been in the news, but one of the things is that a couple of episodes ago we talked about suspects, victims turned into suspects who went to jail in regards to rape. And then we talked about a movie, The Luckiest Girl Alive, with Mila Kunis in it. And so, you know, I don't know if anybody's been following like the news lately in North America, but there was a actor in the movies in a TV show, not a movie, but the television show, the 70s, that 70s show, who was sentenced to 30 years in jail for rape. And so I thought that it was timely to talk about it because I talked to Lala about this earlier, and we're just like, well, she's married to Ashton Kutcher, which is they're both like they were both on the '70s show, and I guess there was some letters that leaked out. It was like a character witness letter for Danny Masterson, the guy that was convicted of rape, and so they were supporting him. And like now everybody's like shitting on them for supporting him. All I get for even today, we're talking to just like kind of a random
It
person
was
in a
not, that's what the letters, it was just character witness letters. It was not
yeah.
supporting him, it's just character witness. So this, let me just clarify.
Well, isn't a character witness supporting that person for his character, right? So still like a support letter.
But
Um,
not supporting the rape is
no,
what I
no,
want
of
to
course
clarify.
not. Yeah,
Yeah.
not supporting the. Yeah, I don't think anybody's supporting rape, but
Yeah,
it
but
was
no,
just
it's just you said supporting, and it's like supporting
ah.
him in what?
So thank
So
you for clarifying
to
that. Yeah,
clarify,
yeah.
it's just it's a character witness. So it's basically what that is you write a letter because it's someone you've known, and in your eyes, this is the character that you have experienced. And so, I mean, but that's just between you and them. Like that does not mean that
Yeah, they were
they
privy to
couldn't
anything.
possibly have done something to somebody else that they never did to you. So
Right.
just wanted to clarify that it's not in support, it's just a character witness. So the differentiation is that you are just speaking to the character that you've experienced yourself, not that you're supportive of what they're being charged for.
That's correct. But the internet's all ablaze because of the letters. Like, I don't know if it's like, I suppose if I've known someone, like, it's just like they always say, you never know like what a person does behind, like on their own time. But when you're with that person, if I have a friend of like 20, 25 years, yeah, and I've never experienced anything to the contrary. Yeah, I would write a support, like a character letter too, in support of their, who they are as individuals, well, at least to me. But, um, I guess people are all upset with them, like, and I don't understand, like, if you have friends that are friends for a long time and they do something bad, I mean, like, where does that make you bad? It does not make you bad. However, they're, because they're celebrities and because we were talking about this a couple of episodes ago, and because it's dealing with rape, I thought it would be interesting to talk about because it seems to me with the climate in the media and I don't know if they want like literally today I was in a Discord lobby and then somebody brought this up. Somebody, did you hear about this thing? And then they just was saying like profanity. They were just like cursing at like Ash Aston and Mila like they were just like bad people. I'm like, dude, I go, they didn't do the rape, but and then I just listened, and they were just mad because of everything they were hearing and all the tidbits they were hearing. Like they must have known, and they're making assumptions now, but they weren't the ones on trial. So I thought I want to hear your take on it too, Lala. But because Mila was in
Called
that.
me about it, you were like, "Oh, your girl Mila, who we just talked about,
Yeah,
is in
no,
support of, that dude." And then I was like, first of all, what the fuck are you talking about? Because I've literally been traveling this whole weekend, and I have literally not even slept, let alone even pay attention to the fucking news, especially not celebrity news. Because, like, bro, I got
who
more
cares?
fucking important things going on in my life than to pay attention to fucking celebrities. But okay. why don't you tell me? And then he told me this, and then I'm like, and then he speaks about Scientology, and I'm like, what the fuck does Scientology have to do with this? And then I'm like, look, I've literally been in a situation where somebody was charged with rape, and I was actually like willing to write a letter because I was like, there's no way, like the person that I know would never do this, you know what I mean? And like
Mm.
that person's on trial. And so, like, bro, like just because let's say that that person did do this or didn't, whatever, how does that make me like, bitch, was do I hold your hand 24/7? Do I know who the fuck you sleeping with? Like, no, like, you show yourself to certain people a certain way. And everybody has this. Everybody acts differently with different groups of people. And so, like, yo, like literally, I would write a letter of character for this person because I have known this person since they were a little kid. And so I'm like, I would have never seen this. It does not mean that that person didn't do that. It just means that this is the person I've known since they were a kid. And so, bro, if they grew up to be a rapist, then that's nothing to do with me. Did I raise the kid? Did I raise them? No. How am I to be blamed? How? How? Am I supposed to be blamed for other people's doing?
Oh, yeah. And the whole Scientology bit was they were saying, now I was just reading, um, that they were pressuring the witnesses, the people that came forward to not come forward, basically threatening and doing whatever
Yeah,
they do.
I had to do some research after you told me that because literally when Richmo called me, well, I called him. I was walking back from like Trader Joe's because I had to go buy baking soda because, well, my battery died. That's a whole other story.
That's
Clean my
another
battery
episode.
out with baking soda. So as I'm walking back, I'm talking to him and I'm like, all right, dude, so like I went on Court TV and then just had because I feel like Court TV has the most just unbiased type of,
In like
you know,
articles, you know.
yeah, it's just like what it is. They'll show you what it is with no opinions. You know what I mean? Like
And what did it
you
say? Curious.
listen to it. Go to Court TV. They said a bunch of fucking legal jargon. But in the end, what it is just basically what you just said right now. It's just that because even the judge was like, well, why are you bringing this up? And then they're like, well, because they are going to try to bring up, and I mean, the defense is going to try to bring up the fact that, these people didn't come out with the stories until much later. And then they're trying to have it like valid the fact that they were all part of this Scientology chingadera, which apparently tells you you're not supposed to call the police or get the police involved in anything. And I'm thinking,
Mm,
why
mm.
did Scientology tell you this? It's kind of like the Mormons with their
Polygamy.
polygamy. Yeah. Like you're not supposed to get outside, like when I'm talking about the dude that fucking slept with 12-year-olds and shit. Like there's a reason that like and then aside from that, I literally went into the mentality of like, can we do like a PSA? If somebody tells you you're not supposed to contact the police, they're probably grooming you to be abused. I'm just saying.
Yeah, wow.
It's like, bruh, what the
Like something's
fuck?
wrong. Something's
Yeah,
wrong. Yeah.
precisely.
I mean, in a strange way, in the Latino community, I'm just gonna speak to my upbringing. My mom always said, don't get involved with anything. You see something, you just keep it to yourself. Like if there was a crime in the neighborhood, it's just like you
No.
didn't want any business, like you didn't want to be involved in anything because they're gonna come after you. They're gonna come after you.
Oh
And this
my
is the
God.
fear we were living with in the
I
neighborhood.
told
Can you
my
imagine this?
son exactly the same, the exact opposite. I said, bro, if you fucking see some girl getting fucking trying
I'm
to
not
get it take
talking.
advantage of her, no, this is
Well,
what
not.
I'm talking about. No,
I got
no,
you. Gotcha.
but it pertains to this because that's a fucking
Ah,
crime. And then
yeah.
you have stilled in your head, which why there has been a lot of cases women get raped straight up in the street and nobody says a fucking thing because they're brought up with this fucking flawed mentality.
Yeah.
Flawed mentality. No. And what I told my son is like, no, bro. If you see something fucking wrong, you better step up and fucking call the police
Mm-hmm.
and you better do something about it because it's unfair to the person who is being abused and then nobody's there to defend them. No, this is
True.
incorrect mentality.
Well, there's a lot of crime going on. People are getting held up. But I could see another thing why they're saying well, a lot of people in these communities, or when I say the Latino communities, because they're undocumented or something, they don't want to get involved with the police, so they don't speak up about crimes either. So I'm just saying crimes in general, like break-ins and car whatever, breaking in just like other things. But like what you're talking about is pretty major. I don't know. I've never seen that, so I don't know what I would do. I don't think I'd stand by and do nothing now. But uh, you know, as a kid, I'm glad I never saw anything like that. But that like rape is pretty fucking. I just don't know. It's just horrible. But we're talking about it, and it's just the whole idea of you know scarring somebody for the it's just like the trauma that person must. I can't even imagine what that must be like. It is a messed up mentality, but it is a mentality of like we don't we're like I never trusted the police. I got to be honest with you. I never did. I don't think I even now like there's the part of me that if I ever get pulled over, I'm shaking. Like I have this fear, and it's just a ticket. It's just like an infraction, but
Well,
there's always
it's
a
a
fear of
fear,
leaving my hand on my.
it's a fear that has been instilled in us, and I mean us in the Hispanic community, because well, at least where I come from Mexico, and in Mexico, like you don't trust the police.
Mm.
And here, like I feel like I have a bit more trust than in Mexico, but I
Nobody wants
still
bribes here.
but I still approach with caution and like I try to be very like uh just not passive, but just not try to escalate or yell at them because they're already in such high energy that, if I speak to them in a lower voice, in a calmer tone, then I can de-escalate. And that's the word I was looking for. Like de-escalate and not escalate something that's nothing to something big. Whereas, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel
Right.
like at least in the US, you know, maybe in like the West
Well,
Coast,
in my
but not in
neighborhood,
Middle America, my Mexican ass will be okay.
right. I mean, when I was a teenager and people had cars, I mean, in this neighbor, we weren't driving the best cars. It was always like, to us, it was just transportation to get from point A to point B. Nobody cared what you were driving as long as it can take us there. So we were always really excited. But the treatment we got from police officers was always everybody put your hands on your head. Driver, put your hands on the steering wheel. Everybody keep, driver, left hand outside the door, roll down the window, hand on the, it's just like this whole thing. And I was just used to it. I was just like everybody's scared and used to it. It's just like but that's like the PTSD. I mean, there was
Well,
points where
we were so broke we didn't have vehicles. Actually, none of us did. So we just took the good old bus. But
yeah,
because we were walking in groups, we would also get
yeah, if
stopped
you were
for walking in
yeah,
groups. So because we would be coming back from the quinceañeras, and
yeah.
so yeah.
Unfortunately, I mean, this is horrible to say this, but I think it's not. I think in there was a time in the city of Cudahy, they had sheriffs, they had contracted sheriffs because they fired the police department because they were just weren't doing a good job. And the sheriffs decided, now this is like kind of like a different mentality. If you were a groups of 4 or 5, you were like stop frisk, and you got to feel the heat of the hood of the car. And if you move, they would hit you with, but like they did that to all the kids. And I can't, like all my friends that the group at that time, they all had a similar experience, like walking in a group, getting shaken down because they were looking for crack, cocaine, and all kinds of shit. But they were really abusive. I think that's part of like the fear, it's just like, is that gonna, are they gonna be like that? Because that's like scary, And plus you hear, unfortunately there are a lot of people getting shot, and it's not, doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen, people getting shot for just making a wrong move because the police are itchy, and you can't see. That's why I was like, hand on the thing, I have my registration and license, and just wait there. But yeah, it's kind of frightening. I mean, I know I should have more faith, and I want to have more faith, but it's there's some things you just can't really get over. It's always steeped up, it's deep in the back of your mind, what like your own experiences. I guess that's what PTSD is, right? It's just like you get in a situation and it's just like you tremble, or you get these feelings, and you don't know, those are those feelings. So there you go. So where
Yeah.
were we at? We went on a tangent
So
here.
back to this rape.
Back to the rate. Yeah, he got those years because obviously a
How
jury of
many
his
years?
peers, I think he got 30. A jury of his peers found him guilty. I don't, I wasn't there.
Of
That's what
his
happened.
peers? What does that mean?
Yeah, people in the community. So the jury found him guilty, and that was it.
Well, they're
And I
just
think,
people, right? So
yeah,
they're
they're
all
just
people.
people.
So, okay.
Yeah,
I just
you
didn't know
know.
like peers, like, oh, they're all their age. They all went to high school with him. His peers, like, what kind of
No, no,
peers?
no. I think that's what they call it, just people in your community. Um, I don't know. Let me just double check. How many years did he get? Exactly. Oh, please. Danny Masterson got 30 years to life. I guess that means that if you live that long, well, then that's your life. But if you make
How
it
old is
to,
he now?
oh, he's got to be in his late 40s. Yeah, he's probably like
Oh, okay.
48. He's probably like
Hmm.
48, 49, 48, 49. So, yeah, that would be the rest of your life, pretty much. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, you're at the prime of your youth, I think.
So the question was, and why Richmo wanted to talk about it today was regarding Mila and Ashton. And he was like, yeah, but they were supporting him. And I'm like,
Well, I said that, but that is
no,
that.
but this is
Let
then,
me
then
clarify. The
wait,
reason
then
I
what
want
I
to.
said was like, they did, and that's why I wanted to specify what supporting and then a letter of character means. And I wanted to make sure that people know the differentiation of what that means. It doesn't mean that they're in support of him fucking
Raping.
raping women.
Hmm.
No, it's just that it's a letter of character that the parents wrote, because they are literally expressing the person that they saw. And like, okay, let's say, what about those serial killers that have families,
Mm.
wives, and children? The kids and mother don't know shit.
He was always good
And
to us.
exactly. So are
Oh
those
man,
children and wives supposed to be blamed for him being a serial killer when they never even fucking knew because he had such a good way of hiding? Like the fucking clown killer, what's his name? That white boy.
you mean John Wayne Gacy?
Yes, Casey.
Hmm.
He was the pillar of the community. Pillar of the community.
And also a clown, if I might add,
Pillar of the community.
and a
All those
clown.
people that would have fucking vouched for him Are they to
Yeah.
blame for his shit? No, it's just some people are very good at compartmentalizing their lives and then keeping certain things separate from people. So to me, it's so like
Well, let's
that's why I wanted to clarify what the difference was being in support of and then just
right.
writing a character witness letter. That
And
is
that's what I wanted
very
to talk
different.
about. And let me go back to that whole thing too. A lot of people are really good at like compartmentalizing their lives. And
Yes.
obviously, if they're doing something like rape, you think they're going to tell their friends?
Yeah, of course not.
Anybody? Come on, not like that's not something you brag about. Well, I just did this. Like, no,
No.
that's why they would never know. They're not going to like, hey,
Yeah.
guess what? Not going to talk about this stuff in front of my kids and my friends. And like, if you did
Exactly.
that, that's like a deep dark secret that only you hold with
But then yourself, you're not gonna sit there and
yeah,
fucking brag about it. And then if somebody brags to me about that, you think I'm gonna write a fucking character witness letter for the court? Fuck no. Of
no,
course not. That doesn't make any
no.
fucking sense. So, okay, after you
So,
told me this, I literally went and looked into it and then looked at the PSA. And then they talked about how with the victims don't accept Mila and Ashton's, not apology, but just like, hey, we would
character
like,
witness
yeah, and
statement.
they're like, as if anything, it's injuring me more. And I I understand. No, I don't understand because I never been raped before, but I can try to understand how they must be feeling, you
Of course,
know?
because they were
And so,
wronged. No.
exactly. And so, to them, I am not trying to take away that feeling of like, yo, if I heard somebody supporting him, but it's not support, it's just their character witness from what they witnessed from this person. So, this person never raped them, therefore, their character witness differs from the victims. But I still understand why the victims would be uh, upset about it. I just don't understand why the rest of the people will be upset about it. You know what I mean? Because, like, bruh, like,
I mean, I think that, and this is where like this
so
needs to
let's,
like in the
and so what
news.
I had posed to Richmo here, I said, bro, let's say you were charged with rape charges and you asked me to do a character witness, and then the victim got upset at me, and it's like, well, Richmo's never raped me, so like, I just, I didn't know, like, I've never seen this side of him or whatever. You know what I mean? So you're gonna blame me for not knowing? You're gonna blame me for what? What are you blaming me for? Did I make him do it? Did I raise him? Did I
Mhm.
pathologically fucked him up in the head so that he can go rape people? No. What the fuck do I have to do with it? You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why they are. ¿Por qué se están enfocando tanto en esos pinches güeyes? ¿Qué pinche pedo
You
tienen que ver
know,
ellos?
it's like I guess 'cause everybody likes that 70s show. Like a lot of people remember that show that they were all on. And much like, remember when Bill Cosby got his shit, he got in trouble
That's
for fucking
precisely.
roofing people. It's like,
Yes.
uh-oh, uh-oh, you just found something out. Do you now people like, are you gonna cancel the show? Is it like gonna stop airing? Probably because you
Yeah.
know everything you see has a double meaning now. It's like, oh well, everybody's looking into things now. Everybody's looking into like the attitude, and maybe there will be a case study. Maybe somebody will go out and see like certain activities, certain things that he did over the course of those years and say these were all the wrong things. This is what you have to look out for. But that's for another show and something for somebody else to investigate. I
I
mean, I wouldn't
think
know anything about
that
that.
what the victims say is completely valid. And if they want to feel that way about Mila and Ashton, it is their right to do so.
Mm.
However, everybody else, bitch, you were wronged. And all I'm trying to say is, it's like I was crucified for shit somebody else did that I didn't even fucking know about. Like,
Right.
how am I gonna be crucified for some shit I didn't even fucking know about? Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I would apologize to the victims had I said something. And it's just like, yo, dude, it's just because I was totally unaware. I didn't know. And this is not, but I understand why the victims feel like that because they're like, well, we are coming forward and you still wrote a letter to be on
Yeah.
his side. But it's just
Well,
like,
I think that's the thing. They knew what the charges were, and they wrote a letter to kind of
yes, I understand. But like I
yeah
just told you, I have
yeah
recently been in that situation where I would write a letter, but I don't know if this person did or did not do what they were
right.
alleged to do. And so it's like, well, most likely they did. But in my eyes, this is so far-fetched from what I have ever seen and experienced in this person's life.
Right. And it's just almost like I don't know, but it would seem like the Church of Scientology was playing the part of those officers and like, no, maybe this was your fault. I could just see all that wording and like to force them not to like come forward, because there's a whole thing of them not like that's probably like another whole other story that hasn't broken yet. And I don't know if it ever will, but yeah, to kind of suppress that information and having
It's
people fear
because
for
they
their
are a fucking cult, they're very cult like kind of like, the polygamy group that is with the what's his name, the dude that's in jail forever. And the girls have to wear those dresses and shit. Whatever they're called. And yeah, it's the same shit. It's just like brainwashing techniques and mentality. And then it's just like, how do people even fall into that?
some
So that's
people
what
are
I'm
born
like,
into
okay,
that. Some people are born into that. It's kind of
yeah.
nuts.
But the people that are not, like, if somebody's telling you that you are not allowed to report a rape charge,
Yeah. Find an
that
advocate.
means that is actually means that you need to fucking do it. Like, how are you gonna tell me that? Like, it's
Not to
kind of
report
like
a crime.
because I got shot right now, but I'm not gonna report it because I shouldn't because the guy was from the same religion. Fuck you, bitch. Like, what? Like, what kind of religion tells you this? Like, okay. So those
Well, we
people
can name a
have
few,
some
right?
have some
Okay.
fucking common sense. How about
Yeah.
that? Like, let's just disseminate. Let's actually invent a religion that the basis of it is common sense.
Common sense religion.
A common
We
sense.
call it,
Like, literally, we'll be going against all religions because most of
yeah,
them make no motherfucking sense to me.
we're gonna call it Lalaism. What is that? It's
Yes.
fucking common sense, motherfuckers.
Yes, basically.
Lalaism. There are a lot.
Lalaism.
It's Lalaism and Lalaisms for crazy shit you say. Anyway, but yeah,
No, but
common sense. It's
the
common
shit that I
sense.
say is not as crazy as these
No, it's not
religions.
like don't report a
Really?
crime. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I would never say that. If anything, I'm the one that always like tells people like, no, you need to fucking report this shit. You need to fucking do this. And these are the steps to do this. Because I know the processes, I know how to do things, and it's just like, no, bro, like if you feel you wronged, you need to make a complaint. And they're like, yeah, but nobody's gonna do it. And I said, I don't give a fuck if anybody's gonna do about it, anything about it. Just fucking make the complaint because then now you're making a case. And so I look at it from the legal stance point of view. It's like you make a complaint, you make another complaint, and now you got backup. If you never made the complaint, you go to court, you got no backup, bro. You need to have evidence. It's all about the evidence.
I you know, one my daughter got in a car accident like yesterday, and then she calls me. She says, "I just got in a car accident," and they kind of, they ran into, they like merged into her, And I'm like, so I'll go, okay, calm down. I'm like, where are you? I was like, well, I'm outside the freeway now. It happened on the freeway. It was an emerge. They merged into her and she was like going straight. And I said, okay, did you take pictures? Did you get the license? And I was just like going over the things. I didn't know where she was. She just called frantic. And then she's all, yes, yes. And I'm like, you get the insurance? He goes, no, the person didn't have insurance. They said that they texted to me, but they had to go. I'm like, so they left? I go, did you make a police report? I go, no, because I go, like, you need to make a police report. It's the first thing you do. Make a police report because the damage is already going to be over $1,000, you know? So, and, and then as soon as I said that, he's like, oh, he just texted me. And he's like, this person wanted her to text her that it was her fault. I was like, that's crazy. I was like, call your insurance company right now, make the police report. And this guy just fled the scene basically. He didn't have, I mean, whatever. It's just like a process, but it's just like you got to do things in steps. Otherwise, you're going to get hurt
Yeah,
or in
but would
trouble.
you tell your daughter not to call the police because you've
No,
been taught
I
this?
told her, call the
And that's what
police.
I'm saying. Your mother's mentality was flawed because no, that's maybe in Mexico, but not here. That does not apply.
Yeah, you got to trust you're right. You have to trust the police.
Well, you need to
they're,
make your fucking report,
you
not
make your
trust the
report.
police. Just make your motherfucking report
Mm.
because then, and they give you a copy and it's filed and you can actually search it that it's filed. So, should this happen again, you can say, I fucking, and then you can bring it up. Your evidence. I brought this up. Y'all didn't fucking do shit about it. Okay. Now you guys are at fault for not fucking doing shit about it. And that's how you make them accountable. Don't just fucking sit there and complain about the police. Fucking make them accountable. File your shit, bring your motherfucking evidence, and then present it how they were neglectful or whatever it is that you're trying to say. Bring your fucking evidence. Don't just make accusations. Anybody can make accusations, but bring your motherfucking evidence. And how best to have your evidence? File in a motherfucking police report. Get a copy of it. Make sure it gets filed. Get a copy of the file, etc. People are very passive and they just like to finger point and not actually do anything about it. And so this is what I'm saying. And so in terms of these girls, I am so sad that their religion told them not to file for these accusations. So, okay, now we get into what kind of motherfucking religion tells you not to file rape charges? An all-loving religion? A God knows best religion? So God wanted you to get raped? God, like, seriously. And
I
this
don't know
is,
what Scientology is 100%, but
I
I
literally
don't
have
know.
no idea what the fuck
I
you
don't,
talk
I don't,
about.
I don't, I
But
don't think they believe in God.
I'm assuming they are like all fucking religions is that God knows everything and God, when bad things happen to you, is for a motherfucking reason. And they fill you with all these fucking chingaderas in your fucking head. So I guess if you're part of that religion, I'm assuming your God says that you were supposed to get raped. So there you go. Just
Wait,
fucking accept it and don't fucking file charges. That's literally what they told these girls. That's the kind of God that they're following. I'm just saying, yeah, religion. hmm That's what religion tells people to do. And people still fucking follow religion. Like, right? Do you not have, okay, so then why are people upset about it? Like, all y'all motherfuckers are fucking religious. Well, God said so, religion said so. Then why are you
yeah, no.
upset? You know what I mean? Then shut the fuck up because all these the press, some of them come from the fucking far right, which the kind of shit that they've said. And so it's just like, bitch, fuck off. Like, all y'all are fucking crazy.
So, in a nutshell, if somebody's saying you not to tell the police anything, then
You're
maybe you
probably in
should
a
really
cult.
think, or they're probably you probably
No,
should
you're
think
probably
about,
in a
well, like,
cult and you're being
yeah,
brainwashed.
I know, but you should probably really think about the people you're around and what they're
If
actually
you're
saying to
being
you.
abused and they're telling you not to report it to the police, then this is them grooming you. You are literally, I, it just, you're being rude to be constantly abused.
Yeah. Well, that's unfortunate. I mean, but you know what? They came out anyway, and they did. I don't know what sparked them to come out or how. I mean, I guess it would, like, they were traumatized. They came out with it. So, you know, justice is served, you know.
Yes,
It was
and
more
I'm
than one.
glad that they broke from what their religion was telling them.
Yeah,
And
like
it's just like,
they had to break from
how
the
can
towing the
your
line.
religion be so oppressive? Then why the fuck do you believe in this shit?
Oh, like you
Why?
said, it's like a cult, and what do they do? Control.
Exactly.
And that's what they're
Brainwash
doing
you.
is controlling.
Brainwash you to think that they're the right people. But if they tell you that somebody abuses you and then you are not allowed to seek help, then that should be a clue. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, we should accept abuse? Like, are you fucking serious?
Well, I
No.
think I
Oh
think we
my God.
mentioned this on the episode a few episodes ago where if you ever get in a situation, even if you're with a police officer and you're reporting something, you should get an advocate, someone to advocate for you if you're in trauma, because I'm sure, much like in that episode, we talk about like the tactics and things that people said, police officers, detectives said to those victims to try to coerce or get some kind of saying them to say something, trip them up, or having them say something that isn't, you know, because of their state of mind, getting what they want. Then maybe I don't know what happened with, maybe the same thing. I can't even I'm sure something happened like that with the church. They're trying to tell them, no, well, no, you don't do this. And, they're convincing them in some way or fashion to not report something, then that's wrong. But
So
if
basically,
you
what
want
we're
to come,
saying is
mm,
if your religion tells you to do something, just do the opposite because you're probably wrong.
yeah, if you think you're doing a crime, find an advocate. If you want to report a crime such as rape and you don't know who to talk to, find it. There are plenty of advocates out there
Oh
who'll
my
come
God,
with you.
yes,
Do not
yes.
be afraid.
And do not allow either your parents or if you feel violated, even if you think it's like, oh, it's only a little bit of violation is violation. There is no degree of violation. If you're violated, you're fucking violated, period. I don't, if your religion says don't feel guilty, you are not guilty for being violated because you were dressed a certain way. Like this is a lot of the reasons that women, because fucking we live in a patriarchy where they say that we're not allowed to be dressed sexy because we cause men to fucking rape us. Like, bitch, think about the psychology about that. Fuck off. I can dress however the fuck I want to. Men literally walk around. I have seen men walk around in fucking booty shorts. And are women raping them? No. But it's okay for them because they know women are not gonna rape them. But we have to cover ourselves because men can't control themselves. Well, then, bitch, make them control themselves so that they don't rape us. You know what I mean? Like, no. So, what I'm saying is for women, don't let anybody, whether it be your religion, your parents, or anything, if you feel violated, even if you think like, oh, maybe this is not, but if you're already thinking about it, you already feel violated, even if it's something you think is small. Violation is violation. There is no degree of violation. You just, if you feel violated, whether it be something small or big, there is no quantum, like quantitative
Oh,
amount.
let me talk about there's that when the Spanish women's Spanish team won the World Cup
Oh
for
yeah.
females.
Hmm.
The Spanish the guy
Yeah.
he kissed
Yeah.
the football
Hmm.
player. She didn't want to
Yes.
kiss the guy,
The
but he like
coach.
the
No, the
coach.
coach literally
Yeah,
just grabbed her and just did a big old smack.
like what the hell? And now he's now resigned, right? They finally made him to resign, but
Oh,
it's like,
he tried to fucking say,
yeah,
oh well, this was just from happiness and stuff. But bro, I've been really happy and I don't go around just kissing people in the mouth. Like and especially because as women, we are so prone to violation. We are more heightened in that type of mentality of like of keeping your distance from me unless I welcome you to come close to me or you know, don't fucking get close to me, period. And so in that sense, like and he
folks, that
tried to fight it and I was just like, nah, bro. Nah, bro. You are her superior and then you literally grabbed her and kissed her in the mouth. I
that was
understand the happiness and stuff, but like a hug suffices. You can kiss her on the cheek, not in the mouth, because you already know how intimate that is.
mm.
And if it's not welcome, you're not
and
allowed
that
to do
was
it.
and that was caught on camera and the whole bit. And then the
Hmm.
guy's still like defiant. I'm not,
Yes,
he's like
exactly.
had a press conference. I'm not leaving. I don't, it's just like, well,
Like, no, bitch, you gotta
you know,
walk.
it's sign, it's just like there's a movement happening. It's out,
It's not a movement.
it's
It's
like,
not a movement.
well, when I
It's
say
called
movement, let me rephrase that.
it's called we don't like to be fucking touched, nor kissed, nor raped, nor fucking fondled if we don't ask you to. That is not a movement. When
Let
the
me
fuck do you
Let me
guys
rephrase.
ever
Let me
have to
rephrase.
deal with these? No, when do you guys have to deal
Hmm.
with these situations?
Lala, what I
Oh,
was gonna say.
never. So it's
Okay.
not a motherfucking movement. We just want to be treated how
Not
you guys are treated with respect. We want to be treated with
uh,
respect. This is not a motherfucking movement. This is
okay. I'm
just
got.
basic how we want to
Let
be
me
treated. Just
let
like how you guys are treated with respect, we want to
let me
be
get a
treated with
word in.
respect.
What I'm gonna say is, yeah. Let me rephrase that. It was not so much a
Not a
movement as it.
movement.
Okay, not a movement. What I was gonna say is, let me rephrase that. It's just like, it's this. You have to now. It's just, I don't know how anybody in this day and age could think they can get away with that. And so this is like this whole idea of like respect, you know, even it's just respect your neighbor, respect your
Male
male,
toxicity.
female,
That's how you
male,
can get
female.
away with it because we live in a patriarchal society. And that's
Yes,
how men get away with it. So, yes, that's how
but
they do.
now, but
No, now we still live in it.
but he didn't get away with it, and it came out. He didn't get away with
Think,
it.
yeah,
People were
finally.
supporting, yeah,
Yes,
and it
because
was
now we are starting to have
okay.
more support
Yes.
for what was generally accepted by male toxicity,
Well, before we went on this
patriarchy.
giant rant, what I was going to say is that even an unwanted kiss, if you're uncomfortable and you report it, you're going to have support. What I was going to say
Yeah,
before we went on that rant is that, don't feel like you're not going to have support from anybody. There are advocates and people to help you, and they're out there. And that's that. That's what I was going to say. Um, so yeah, it's not a movement. It is kind of like
basic
it's basic.
things that we want to be treated as fucking humans instead of
It's
being
well,
treated as, well,
let's call
because
this.
you are wearing short shorts, you have the right to be raped.
Okay, let's just say
And
it's
this
like
is literally
common
the
sense.
excuses that they have used in courts because they try to bring this up and then it's like stupid.
Yeah,
Like
no,
men
this is
wear short shorts, how many women are raping them? 0%. Fuck
it's
off.
it's it's
We are
common
humans.
sense, right?
You should never rape anybody, period. regardless of what the fuck they're wearing, because all sex should be consensual.
It's
Punto y
common sense.
final.
Common sense. Common sense.
But yeah,
All right.
that's what we wanted to talk about today.
And I think we talked about it. I mean, we kind of went. I think it was
We
a good
kind of
thing
went a
because
little bit off topic for a little bit, but it's fine.
no, it's right on track. It's what it needed to be because it's in the now, you know, and it's out there in at least North America, North American press. Um, yeah. So now what? Is that it? I guess that kind of wraps up this up. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are, folks out there,
Yeah, I
but
mean,
maybe you don't agree with us. Maybe you don't agree with me or Lala. Well, let me
yeah,
hear what you. I mean, you want to. It's not like a
yes,
rebuttal. It's not like it's your opinion. So you know, you can go ahead and state
exactly.
your opinion. Yeah, we're
And of
open to that.
course,
So
and we always, and for at least for me, but there are certain things that I cannot. For example, child abuse, rape, etc. Like those things, I'm like,
we're
I
not going to
cannot.
stand for that. I don't
I'm
like.
like, I can't plug myself into that mentality because
Yeah,
I
I don't
find it
think I
atrocious.
don't. I don't
So,
think I could speak to
I have
anybody to
my
think that's
limits.
okay.
I have my limits,
Oh
but
my God.
for generally speaking, I always try to listen.
There you go. Well, I don't disagree with your thoughts on that, and likewise, I would not have friends or know people like that or like run in circles like that. I mean, I know that in this world there's like a lot of evil thing, a lot of evil doers in the world, and you might you know come across those folks, but like they'll probably not going to tell you. They're not going to say hi.
Exactly.
I'm a murderer. How you doing?
Exactly.
I
So
like
then, yeah, so yes, in I understand why people get upset. However, how the fuck would Mila and Ashton know that he was doing this shit, bruh?
you know what's
Look
strange
at all
is
the evidence.
that out of who would think that probably got more than two people writing character letters for him, and out of all those letters, because I'm sure he's got more than two friends, more than Mila and Ashton, but of all the letters that were released, only those two were released because they're probably the most famous out of all those people.
Of
So
course.
like, are you going to run everybody else through the mud? Where are all those
So
other, or are they really only two?
how the news runs is what's most sensational.
Yeah.
So y'all don't fall for what's sensational, okay?
Yeah.
Focus on what is real. You should blame the perpetrator. Focus on that motherfucker.
Well,
And that in the jury or when they're in trial, they should not ask the women, what were you wearing? Were you dressed like a slut? How many people you been sleeping with? Because this comes up a lot in rape trials. I'm just like, bitch, what the fuck does that have to do with me saying no? I can be dressed in a motherfucking bikini. If I fucking say no, don't fucking question what the fuck I was wearing.
no is no. Well, folks,
Exactly.
then
No is no,
no
folks.
is no. Well, folks, let's bring this back on the next show, and let's
But if you guys have any opinions, please email us at stories@whathappened.com.
we'll be back again to do it again next time. So follow us, like us, and if there's anything you want to talk about or want to talk about this subject again, it just so happened that we happened to watch these movies, and it just so
Yes, and it
happened
was
that all this came up. It's like,
With
oh,
Mila Kunis, the
so
movie.
like,
What
yeah,
was the
the
name of it? The
luckiest girl
Luckiest
alive.
Girl Alive. Yes, precisely.
So this is Richmo,
And this is Lala.
and we'll see you again next episode.
I hope
Bye-bye.
you guys enjoyed our episode, and please follow us and press the like button. And like I said, if you guys have any questions or anything, don't forget to please email us with your stories, comments, whatever. We accept everything. So, love you guys.
Bye.
Ciao.
To follow us, you can go to whathappened.com for a link to all of our social media and to read our bios.
If you would like us to read your story,
May it be funny or scary or just some hot cheese mix.
Please email us at stories@whathappened.com.